if you're starting a business, there are things you're not going to anticipate. For instance, myself, when I was starting up a business, I was starting up a salon. And there are very many things that I did not anticipate that actually ended up happening. And this was a really, really blindsiding moment. Because if you're starting out, you're very excited about the beginning, you're very excited about the actual investing, building whatever tools you need or buying whatever equipment you need. However, what happens when you start the business? That is where the work actually begins. So let's get into this. Now, one of the things I had to learn was that I was not equipped at all for the business that I was starting. Not only in terms of equipment, because that I did a lot in the investment process. However, there's another level of investment I had to do, and that was investment in my mind. There's so many things I had to learn. I came from being an employee to now having to manage people. And that meant that I needed to learn some leadership skills. I needed to learn how to manage people. Different people have different temperaments, they have different ways of delivering, different levels of motivation, and you have to deal with that on a daily basis. If you plan to run that business long term, you need to figure this out. You need to figure out the right skills. You need to learn skills of negotiation, because you're going to have to negotiate with staff, if you're going to have to give them a salary, or what kind of payment structures are you going to use. You're definitely going to need to learn how to negotiate. You need to learn how to draw boundaries with them, because how you deal with them is not the same way you're going to deal with your friends. So kind of sorting through the relationship that you have with them to make sure that it's respectful, but at the same time, it's also representative of who you are and what you want, so that you don't have to hold back and get scared of, you have to really develop your skills in terms of how you interact with them, how to create impact within them, how to create motivation for them and with them. Now, the other aspect of things that I also had to learn, which was really, really major, is managing money. It comes from just managing your own money, which is in your pocket, but now you have to manage money, which is like business money. So you cannot have your business money and your personal money coming together or having a frequent interaction. You need to make sure that the money is actually separate. So how do you do that? Do you have separate accounts for your business? How do you record sales that come through? How do you reconcile your books? You really need, I come from a communication background, so anything related with like mathematics, that's really not my area of expertise. However, I had to learn how to use an Excel sheet, how to analyze my books, how to track my payments, how to track my expenses, how to make sure that we're not going overhead. These are things I had to learn on the go. No one had to teach me. And then now that I've been a few months in, I've had to also learn things related to do with taxes. You don't want to get blindsided, because your business could easily have a short lifespan if you're closed just as soon as you begin. Like, you just imagine, I've just opened and now all of a sudden you have to close because you have not yet paid your taxes. So get familiar with the legal environment of your business. Do I have to pay taxes? What type of license do I need? How often should I pay it? And track your cash flows to make sure that you're really up to par with such things. You don't want to be caught in a season where you could easily be making money and your business is being closed down. Then another thing that I had to learn was to make sure that I allow the business to grow by itself, because I think I was so excited starting up that I kept on investing and investing and investing and investing, and I needed to know where to stop. I had to get to, this is my cap, I can't go beyond this, because you could easily go for years and years and years just investing in your business and not allowing it to grow by itself. Now, investing is good, but where it gets bad is the business should be able to make its own money to grow itself. So if you're growing your business 1 year in, 2 years in, no profit, but you're just, then something is wrong. You need to reevaluate how you handle things. So I had a cap of where I stopped investing, and then I started allowing the business to start buying its own equipment, buying its own things, and now, irregardless of whether we have a profit or not, if I can be able to pay the basics of bills and stuff, it can be able to have some income that can be reinvested, then that is a win. And something else that you should not forget about, if you're in the service industry and you definitely have to deal with a lot of people, then you need to start trying to understand, people, how they consume information, how they're consuming the product that you have. For instance, for myself, I have to handle people, and I had to realize that people don't just come to do their hair, people are looking for an experience. So then that made us also to get creative in ways that we can stimulate our clients to get that pleasurable feeling when they're working with us or when they come to enjoy our service. So different things like smells, scents, the ambience, aesthetics, things that can be really beautiful and they can get drawn into so that they feel good in the moment and they enjoy the experience with you. Another important way to also get clients to appreciate where they are is having really good customer care. If you know people very well, everybody wants to be cared for. Nobody wants to go into a space and nobody cares. Like, no one walks up to them, no one asks them what they need. People want to feel like someone is caring for them and someone is giving them all their time. So you have to invest heavily in customer care, whether it's internal training for your staff or just even creating systems that can contribute to customer care. So whether it's, assisting that when a client walks in, offer them a glass of water, ask them what they're going to do, and then creating people who are in charge of those specific services. This is very key because it will ensure consistency and you don't have to keep on worrying about, I'm not around, things are not happening the way I want. Speaking about not being around, you're not going to micromanage your business because you're not going to sit there all the time. If you're like me, I may not be able to settle in one place for a very long period of time because I constantly have to juggle different things. I have a job, I also have a family, now I'm also starting a business, but then I also have like multiple passion projects. So you don't want to put yourself in a system or in a situation that you just have to stay in one place and you can't be able to move and do other things. So invest heavily in systems, specifically management systems, so that irregardless of where you are, you'll be able to know exactly what is happening and things can easily function and people can easily do what they're meant to do irregardless of whether you're around or you're not. If you're going to put yourself in a situation that you have to micromanage everything, you're going to burn out, you're going to be very exhausted, and nothing is going to happen. Trust me. If I'm to go to, so this was a personal disappointment of mine, and that is when you're starting out in the very first few months or the very first few weeks, you're barely going to make any money. And it's going to be very frustrating because you've gone through months and months of investing, months and months of research, you know very well that this is a very lucrative business and now you're excited to put all your money into it. Yeah, it's very rare that you'll, hit off on the very first month. So you have to really be smart with how you invest your money. Make sure that you have a little bit of a reserve for yourself. If you put all your eggs in one basket and then now, you have to wait for that money to rely on it maybe for your everyday needs, it's going to be really challenging for you because you may not be able to get that money maybe like for 2-3 months. And that may be a bit straining. It will drain your energy. It's also going to discourage you a lot. So make sure as you're investing, retain a little bit of money for yourself to just help you run through maybe like 2-3-4 months, yeah? So that when things now start to pick up, you're also okay and you don't have to really worry so much about finances and you don't have to be exhausting and stressing out yourself. I hope that information is really helpful because thinking about starting is not just investing, it's way more than that. So think about what skill set do I need? How much am I investing? How is it affecting my personal income? Or is it draining my savings? Project maybe 6 months in and make sure that you're safe, that you have whatever that you will need. And then also make sure that you do a little bit of training. Don't stop planning, don't stop researching. Do a little bit of capacity development depending on the role that you want to play in your business, and make sure that you create a team that can be able to run things can be able to run things without you even having to be there if you have a variety of things that you need to take care of. So I hope that information was very helpful for you. If it was, make sure that you share it with somebody, a friend, family member, anyone of your choice, but just make sure you share it, and I hope that you subscribe.